I got this haircut tutorial on my little brother. The crazy part is I ain't even did this haircut tutorial yet. Like I ain't even did it, I ain't recorded it, but I know I'm gonna be cutting his hair tomorrow. I guess he getting a mid taper with a crispy edge up, with the enhancements, super sharp, super crispy. I'm throwing all that out there and I ain't even did it yet. So I got high standards up. I gotta live up to them expectations, man. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let's get into the video.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy SliceGod, LilNoah, back with another video. I got my little brother in the chair. Right now we picking out his hair, getting any naps out, any length out his head. We just want to have the proper canvas to blend into the longer hair. He getting a high taper, so we sitting in this first guideline, which is the bald guideline. We sitting this guideline right where the top of the ear end with a little curve to it to give it that burst effect. We knocking off the C-cup area because this taper do not consist of the C-cup. Then we're gonna proceed to remove the excess hair at the bottom of the guideline. The next step is the lever open on my magic clip sitting in the second guideline. You want to keep it as neat as possible because I do think this is one of the most important guidelines. After establishing this second guideline, you want to work your way down within that guideline, closing your lever little by little as you move down, focusing on keeping this guideline as gradient and as tight as possible. Now we got our number one guard lever open, sitting in our third guideline. You basically want to do the same thing, keep this guideline as neat as possible and work your way down within that guideline. Comb as you go to make sure it's truly even. Just because you're pushing over the clippers don't mean that it's getting every hair, so comb as you go. We got our number two guard with the lever open. We finna start debulking. We trying to get rid of a lot of this weight so we can have a smooth transition from light to dark. As you can see, I'm scooping out. I'm not going straight over my clippers. He got an afro, not a mohawk, so I don't need to go straight up because it's going to give it that more square shape. I'm just trying to debulk. It's crucial to keep combing when dealing with weight to get it as smooth as possible, because if you don't time it correctly, after a day or two of them sleeping on it, that weight will come back and it'll look like you halfway did your job. We got that 1.5 guard with the lever open, focusing on that area between that 2 guard and that 1 guard. We're gonna smooth it out going with the grain, then we're gonna close it up to get a little bit closer. Using that same guard, we're going against the grain now, focusing on finishing tying in the top of that blend. At this point, I'm just combing and just hitting spots until there are minimum dark spots left over. Taking out that last faint line, I go detail crazy with my lever open. I'm basically everywhere with this step, and it's just because I'm trying to take this blend to the next level, so I'm being precise as possible and using a lot of corner work. It's very important to use your mirrors when detailing, because the mirror is not going to lie to you, your eyes will, and it just comes from focusing on one thing for a long period of time. So you got to either set your eyes on something else, then come back to it, or use your mirror. That's the easiest way, because the mirror is gonna reveal all the dark spots. Now we on to the back taper. The only difference between the back taper and the side taper is that it's a bigger workspace, and sometimes the back taper tends to have different hair growth patterns. First, you want to sit in your first bald guideline. After you bald them out, then dust them off, you want to move into your second guideline, which is the lever open, then the 1 guard, then the 2 guard, then the 1.5 guard, and then back to your lever open. And when I'm saying need guards, make sure you're working your way down after you set that guideline. Work your way down within that guideline. Every guideline you set, work your way down within that guideline until it's blended in detail afterwards. This be the different hair growth patterns I be talking about. As you can see right now, I'm finna go sideways to get it to a true number 1. You might see me flip the clippers and go downwards. It might look like I'm going with the grain, but no, I'm going against the grain. And that's just because that's the way the hair grows. So to get it as even as possible, you gotta go against the way the hair grows. Now I get my number 2 guard. I'm just debulking, following them same steps as I did on the side taper. I'm not gonna try to go too high, because like I said, his hair grows in different directions. So some areas is not gonna get lighter off of me just going straight up. I might have to go downwards like I'm doing now to get it even as possible. So I'm gonna keep doing it to consume a lot of that darkness and not go too high. In the middle, this is where his growth patterns are more harsh. That's why it looks darker. But I'm finna focus on those areas with the 1.5 guard going against the grain, or trying to go against the grain. And whatever spots I can't get fully out, I'm gonna just use my lever open on my clipper, and you hit those spots being light and using a lot of corner work. After getting the rough draft out the way with using guards, I got my lever open and I'm just detailing, hitting certain spots, being light. When I get into those darker areas, I'm only touching like the tip of the hairs. I'm not laying my clipper flat at all. So I'm using a lot of corner work, and I'm just trying to bring this taper to life. As a barber, the whole objective of dealing with a tough canvas is to make it seem as if it never was in the first place. Now I'm prepping for the lineup. I just picked the hair out. Now I'm getting rid of any loose hairs. Then I'm gonna lay the hairs where the edge are gonna be placed down. Then I'm gonna make sure the blend flow well with this prepped area. So you just wanna take your time. This plays a big part. You ain't gotta rush, take your time. Don't be lazy. We just laid the hair down with the holding spray and the brush. Now I got my Mike Tyson boards, and I'm keeping this edge up crispy as possible while keeping it natural, keeping it far out as possible, keeping it lined toward the ear, as close to the ear as possible. I like to start at the top or the ear end, then work my way back down to this side. And I just keep combing. I'm trying to get every hair. I ain't trying to leave no hair behind.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
We're doing the same thing with the front edge up, holding spray, brush it down, and blow dry to lock it in. Then we're gonna focus on our vertical bars. We wanna get them crispy as possible. We're gonna take our time on both sides. Just because I'm saying keeping it crispy, don't mean push it back. You wanna keep it as natural as possible. Most people edge up in, right where their eyebrows end, so this should be a reference point for you guys. Now we in the middle, working our way to one side, combing as we go, make sure we get every hair. Even though he is getting enhancements, we want to make sure this hairline is solidified without the enhancements. Now we got our fibers. We lightly spraying and making sure we get it as full as possible. Then we're gonna hit our vertical bars, being light as possible, making sure it blends into the taper. After that, we go back in with the holder spray to lock in the fibers. Then we're gonna sponge it up and reline his edge up. We already took care of the facial hair. We relining with the Mike Tyson boards, getting that thin white edge line, getting them super crispy to the next level. Here's what you get. This type of quality. Here's what you get. You follow my steps, you subscribe, you keep pushing with me on this journey. You're gonna be chopping like this. No cap. YouTube, here's the final product. If you like this video, be sure to leave me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, comment, and let me know what other type of haircuts you want to see or what type of videos you want to see. We can switch some up. I appreciate y'all. I'm gone. Slap.